guys to another adventure. Today we're here in the Whitsunday Islands, on Whitsunday Island itself, a protected national park, uninhabited, and we're currently on Whitehaven Beach, a 7-kilometre long beach here in the middle of the Whitsundays. Look at that water, guys. So all of the islands around here, I'll go through a bit of the geology with you guys now. The geology of the area goes back to the breakup of the supercontinent Gondwana approximately 110 million years ago. This was a time period of high volcanic activity continuing for approximately 37 million years. Explosive eruptions ejected rock and ash into the atmosphere that settled as layers, building up to form a solid bedrock. From continual tectonic activity, uplift slowly occurred in the region, forming the mountain ranges known as the Great Dividing Range. The Whitsunday Islands were once a part of this mainland mountain range. However, over millions of years they have separated and rejoined from rising and falling sea levels, the most recent of which was approximately 10,000 years ago after our last ice age. This is where the coral sea rose over the coastal plain from glacial, polar and ice cap melt. Yeah, all of the islands behind me. I'm just noticing as I'm walking along some pumice. So pumice has actually ejected volcanic rock. It's highly porous and will float in water. So by the looks of it, it's been carried on by the current from volcanic activity. Pretty cool, hey? Interestingly enough, the sand that you're seeing here on the islands is made out of 98% silica, meaning it's highly reflective, pure sand, and actually really cool to the touch, despite being exposed to the really hot Queensland heat. The traditional peoples of the region are the Ngaro tribe that have inhabited the area for at least 9,000 years. Stone axes and cutting tools were found on South Mole Island, rock art at the Nara Inlet on Hook Island, and fish traps have been found throughout the island group. However, from the 1800s onwards, many Ngaro people were forcibly removed from their homeland and their culture disrupted. By 1930, there were very few indigenous people left, other than those who had been employed by white settlers on the islands. By the late 1930s, the Queensland government had announced many of the islands in the Whitsundays as national parks and protected areas, with more added in the later decades. The Queensland Parks and Wildlife Services now consult with the descendants of the Ngaro people to protect areas of Aboriginal cultural significance. Whitsunday Islands are surrounded by fringing reefs. Fringing reefs grow near the coastline and are separated by a narrow, shallow lagoon. Coral reefs are built by polyps colonising an area. These tiny animals are between 3 and 56 millimetres in size, with a sac-like body and a mouth opening surrounded by tentacles. When a coral dies, new polyps grow on top of it and develop new colonies. Within the Whitsunday Island Marine Park, over 400 species of coral can be found.